Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are sharing the topic is the power of thought in a quiet town. There lived a young artist named Ajay. He was passionate about painting and dreamed of becoming a great artist one day. But Ajay carried a shadow of doubt within him. Each time he picked up his brush, his mind filled with visions of failure. He worried that his work wasn't good enough, that he'd be laughed at, and so he held back, full of hesitation. Day after day, Ajay painted. But nothing ever seemed quite right. He felt each painting lacked something, but couldn't figure out what. His self-doubt grew, making him question whether he was meant to be an artist at all. He even began to think about giving up. One day, Ajay heard that a famous master artist had come to town. The master was known for his resilience and unwavering self-belief. His work was not only technically brilliant but also radiated a unique energy and life. Ajay gathered the courage to visit this master. Hoping to find some inspiration as Ajay stepped into the master's studio, his gaze fell upon a painting bursting with vivid colors and life. He couldn't help but ask, "How did you create something so powerful?" The master smiled softly and handed Ajay a brush. "Young man," he said, "tell me, how do you see yourself?" Ajay looked down and sighed, "Honestly, I always feel I'm not good enough. I worry that my work isn't as great as others. Every time I start to paint, I imagine failing. I fear I'll never become a true artist." Ajay's master listened quietly. After a moment, he stood in front of a painting and said, "If I told you I painted this, with full belief in myself, would you understand what I mean? Thoughts are like a brush. What you think will shape the world you create." Ajay stared at the master, puzzled. The master continued, "If your mind is filled with fear and doubt, those shadows will appear in your work. Thought is like the canvas within us, it colors the world we see. When you create with confidence and love, your art will shine. But if your heart is clouded with insecurity and fear, your art will be shrouded in darkness." Ajay's eyes widened as realization dawned upon him. The master's words felt like a revelation, making him reflect on his own mindset. He finally understood that it wasn't talent he was lacking, but his habit of doubting and underestimating himself that held him back. Ajay made a firm decision that day. No longer would he create for others' approval. He would paint to express his own soul. He began to believe in his unique ability to create. Every time he picked up a brush, he reminded himself, "I'll let my thoughts flow freely, unbound by fear." Each stroke was now filled with trust and self-assurance. He stopped worrying about others' opinions and immersed himself in the joy of creating. Gradually, Ajay's work transformed. His colors became bolder, his compositions more daring, and even his lines seemed freer and more expressive. People began to notice his paintings, admiring how they came alive with spirit. Eventually, Ajay's work was showcased in a local gallery, drawing admiration and earning him a place of respect among his community. Ajay finally understood that the master's lesson wasn't about painting techniques, but about the attitude of the mind. He had learned that thought is the foundation of everything. Only by believing in himself could he truly find joy in creating. Ajay, thought is the source of creativity. Believe in yourself, and your thoughts will pave the way to success. Thought is not just an inner activity, it is the power that creates our reality. When you believe in yourself, your thoughts open doors to countless possibilities.